In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 31st, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Boston Celtics versus Memphis Grizzlies. It's an interconference showdown between 2 playoff-bound squads as the Boston Celtics hit the road to take on the Memphis Grizzlies in Bluff City on Monday night. Both teams are looking to gain momentum as they inch closer to the postseason, but they're coming in with very different trajectories. Boston has been red hot, while Memphis is struggling to find consistency. The Celtics are coming off a 121-111 road victory against the San Antonio Spurs on Saturday night, though they failed to cover the spread as hefty 12.5-point favorites. On the other side, the Grizzlies suffered a tough 134-127 home loss to the Los Angeles Lakers that same night, falling short despite entering the game as slight 1-point favorites. Historically, Boston has dominated this matchup in the regular season, boasting a 37-20 all-time record against Memphis. However, in their first head-to-head meeting this season on December 7, 2024, the Grizzlies managed to pull off a 127-121 road win against the Celtics. Boston may have to deal with some lineup uncertainty heading into this contest, as Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable due to a right knee impingement. Meanwhile, Memphis remains without Brandon Clark, who is still sidelined. The Celtics enter this game as the hottest team in the Eastern Conference, having won an impressive 13 of their last 14 outings. In stark contrast, the Grizzlies have hit a rough patch, dropping 5 of their previous 6 games. These two teams last faced off on December 7, when the Grizzlies came out on top with a 127-121 victory. However, since that meeting, their paths have diverged significantly. While Boston has been stacking up wins and climbing the standings, Memphis has struggled to find its footing. There's an argument to be made for backing the Grizzlies as home underdogs, especially with the expected return of Ja Morant, who could provide a much-needed spark. Additionally, Boston may be without Brown, which would be a significant blow. However, it's hard to fully trust Memphis given their inconsistency. They've gone just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games, making them a risky bet. On top of that, the Grizzlies are going through major changes, having just fired their head coach a couple of weeks before the playoffs begin. Defensively, the gap between these two teams in March has been glaring. The Celtics have been locking things down, leading the NBA by allowing just 105 points per game during that span. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies have struggled mightily on that end of the floor, ranking 24th in the league by surrendering 119 points per contest. Over the course of the season, Boston has been among the league's elite, ranking 3rd overall with a plus 9.4 net rating. Memphis, while solid, sits further down in 4th place with a plus 4.9 net rating. Additionally, the Celtics have dominated this series in recent years, winning 8 of their last 10 meetings against the Grizzlies. Memphis is limping toward the finish line, and that led to the front office making a big move by parting ways with head coach Taylor Jenkins this past Friday. The change hasn't made an immediate impact, as the Grizzlies fell to the Lakers in their first game under interim coach Chioma Izolo. Now, they're facing a Celtics team that has been rolling, riding an 8-game winning streak into this contest. Boston doesn't have much at stake in terms of playoff seeding, as their chances of catching Cleveland in the standings are slim. However, they do have momentum firmly on their side, which is something the Grizzlies are clearly lacking. Memphis has been giving off all the wrong vibes lately, while Boston continues to rack up wins. The Celtics have extra motivation to get payback for their loss earlier this season, and it's hard to see them letting this one slip away. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boston Celtics to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both of these teams have been lighting up the scoreboard throughout the season. Boston ranks 8th in the NBA, averaging 116 points per 48 minutes, while Memphis has been even better, sitting in 2nd place with an impressive 122 points per 48 minutes. When you narrow the focus to just the last 5 games, neither team has been particularly effective in defending the perimeter. The Celtics are ranked 13th in opponent three-point percentage, allowing teams to shoot 36.4% from beyond the arc. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, have been even worse in this regard, ranking 28th and giving up a troubling 42.9% from deep. Boston has been an offensive machine all season long, and that hasn't changed in recent games. The Celtics are averaging 117 points per game on the year, and over their last 10 contests, that number has dipped only slightly to 116 points per game. While they don't play at a breakneck speed, they rank 29th in tempo with just 96.1 possessions per game. They make up for it with elite efficiency, sitting second in the league in offensive efficiency. Memphis, meanwhile, has been all about pushing the pace, leading the NBA with 103.4 possessions per game. They also boast the 6th best offensive efficiency rating in the league. The Grizzlies have also had trouble slowing teams down, allowing 125 points in 5 of their last 10 games. That defensive vulnerability is something the Celtics will undoubtedly look to exploit. This game has all the makings of a high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bulls versus Oklahoma City Thunder. The Chicago Bulls will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder on Monday night. Chicago is coming off a loss to the Mavericks, while the Thunder routed the Pacers. The Bulls are still missing Lonzo Ball and Kevin Huerter, with Josh Giddey also listed as questionable. The Thunder are keeping eyes on Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Jalen Williams, who are all questionable for this one. The Thunder are the best team in the NBA, led by MVP candidate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Oklahoma City is 4th in offensive rating and leads the league in defensive rating. With 8 regular season games left and the top seed in the West locked up, I expect the Thunder to start resting their starters and main rotation players. They have nothing to play for, while this Bulls team has been playing its best basketball of the season. Chicago has won 9 of its last 12 games and climbed to 9th in the East. Kobe White has stepped up as the #1 option, while Josh Giddey is playing the most efficient basketball of his career. The Bulls haven't been great all season, but they've improved on both ends in March. The Thunder are the safest bet in sports right now. They not only have the best record in the NBA, but they also cover at a 70% rate. Backing Oklahoma City Thunder blindly has been profitable. That said, this line is a bit nuts. The Bulls have quietly won 7 of their last 10 games and covered 8 of them. They've been pulling off some surprising wins, including 5 outright as underdogs in their last 10 games. I'd check if Giddey plays before making a move, but this line is steep regardless. I think the Bulls make pests of themselves and hang around until the final buzzer. I'll be the brave soul to fade the Thunder for once. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Bulls to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Chicago has been red hot offensively, scoring 119 points or more in their last 6 games. They're shooting well from 3 and playing at the 3rd fastest pace in the NBA. The Bulls are confident and hoping to move up from 9th place to the 7th or 8th seed. The Thunder are one of the top offensive teams in the league, and no matter who they put on the floor, they can score. Oklahoma City is 7th in pace and will face a Bulls team ranked 23rd in defensive rating. Chicago gives up nearly 120 points per game and allows the most field goals made per game. This should be a high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Brooklyn Nets versus Dallas Mavericks. The NBA is back in action on Monday night, March 31st, featuring a showdown between the Brooklyn Nets and the Dallas Mavericks. This matchup takes place at the American Airlines Center, where the Mavericks, currently holding a 37-38 record and a 20-16 mark at home, look to extend their momentum after securing 2 consecutive victories. Their most recent win was a nail-biting 120-119 finish against the Chicago Bulls, proving they can handle tight situations. On the other hand, the Brooklyn Nets, sitting at 24-51 overall and struggling with a 13-26 road record, are coming off a rare victory, snapping a 6-game losing streak with a hard-fought 115-112 win over the Washington Wizards. While the Nets are too far behind in the standings to realistically make a playoff push, the Mavericks are still hanging on to postseason hopes by a thread. Every game counts for Dallas, and this one is no exception. Brooklyn will be without Noah Clowney for this matchup, and Cameron Johnson's available availability remains uncertain as he is listed as questionable. The Mavericks, meanwhile, continue to be without Kyrie Irving, who remains sidelined, and they also have question marks around Derek Lively's status. These two teams faced off just last week, and Dallas walked away with a commanding 120-101 road victory. Since then, the Nets have endured two more lopsided losses, while the Mavericks have taken care of business with back-to-back wins. Dallas is getting key pieces back at just the right time, and that has helped them stabilize as they fight for a postseason spot. Of the two teams, Dallas has a much stronger reason to come out swinging in this game. The Mavericks are in a tight battle for one of the final two playoff spots in the Western Conference, holding on to a slim 1.5-game lead over the 11-seeded Phoenix Suns. Only the top 10 teams will make it past the regular season, so Dallas needs every win it can get to avoid slipping into dangerous territory. Meanwhile, Brooklyn sits in 12th place in the Eastern Conference, and with no chance of making the playoffs, their motivation isn't nearly as strong. Dallas has welcomed Anthony Davis back into the lineup, and he's steadily increasing his production after a long layoff, scoring 12, 15, and 18 points in his 3 games since returning. In fact, when these two teams met on March 24th, Davis was playing his first game since February 8th, and Dallas still cruised to a 120-101 victory. Brooklyn is missing its top scorer, Cam Thomas, and the team is still integrating new faces into the rotation, which has resulted in an obvious lack of chemistry that's been apparent in recent games, where the Nets have looked disjointed against stronger competition. Dallas has been reliable when it comes to covering the spread, doing so in 5 of its last 6 games. Ever since the Luka Doncic trade, the Mavericks seem to have found their groove. They have won 4 of their last 5 games and have also been highly consistent in terms of covering the spread, doing so in 5 of their last 6 outings. Playing at home, Dallas has been respectable against the spread, posting a 19-17 record overall and an 11-9 mark as the home favorite. Brooklyn, by contrast, has been in free fall, losing 16 of its last 19 games outright and covering the spread in just 1 of its last 4 matchups. When these two teams played less than a week ago, the Mavericks easily covered the 16-point spread. And given that not much has changed since, a similar outcome is likely in store for this rematch. As our first pick for this matchup, the Dallas Mavericks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. This game also has all the makings of a high-scoring affair, making the over a strong play. Recent trends back this up, as both teams have consistently seen their games exceed the posted total. According to StatMuse.com, the Mavericks rank 13th in the league in pace with a rating of 99.29, while the Nets are a bit slower at 96.17, but still fast enough to contribute to a game with plenty of possessions and scoring opportunities. Brooklyn has gone over the total in 3 of its last 4 games, while Dallas has done so in 4 of its last 5. When playing at home as the favorite, the Mavericks have seen 14 of their last 20 games hit the over, and 20 of their 36 total home games this season have also exceeded the set total. Brooklyn has been a strong over team in non-divisional matchups as well, hitting that mark in 16 of 27 such games. Most importantly, when these teams faced off just 6 days ago, they combined to go over the 218-point total with ease. Given the pace, recent trends, and lack of defensive resistance from the Nets, all signs point to another high-scoring contest. Houston Rockets versus Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA betting action rolls on Monday, March 31st, with the Houston Rockets taking on the Los Angeles Lakers at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. This is the 3rd meeting between these two teams this season. The Rockets edged out the Lakers 119-115 as 4.5-point home favorites back in January. Houston will be without Tari Eason, who's resting for this one. The Lakers, on the other hand, are expected to be at full strength. The Rockets are on the 2nd night of a back-to-back, but they've been in great form lately. They've barely missed a step over the past few weeks. The Lakers, meanwhile, were in a bit of a slump before their narrow win over the Grizzlies on Saturday. This is a tough spot for Houston. After a road game against the Suns, they have to turn around and face the Lakers with no rest. The Rockets have been solid defensively all season, but slowing down Los Angeles' Big Three won't be easy. That said, the Rockets and the points are worth a look. They've been one of the hottest teams in the league lately, and they already beat the Lakers once this season as a 4.5-point underdog. But the Lakers are finally healthy, playing at home, and have the rest advantage. Houston is playing its 3rd straight road game, while Los Angeles knows it needs to stack wins to improve its seeding. Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves all had strong performances against Memphis Memphis last Saturday. The Lakers are healthy at the right time. Doncic has been on fire this month, averaging 31 points and 8.6 assists per game. The West is tight, and the Lakers can't afford to drop this one. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Lakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Rockets will try to slow things down. They aren't a great shooting team, so expect them to attack the rim a lot. Houston ranks 24th in the league in three-point percentage and 28th in two-point percentage. If the Rockets want to pull off an upset, they'll need to lock in defensively. They allow just 12 three-pointers per game on a 35.4% clip. The Lakers won't push the pace either. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.